Wow, that was fast. Bingo! InShalla and Ashe! Blessings to you, my energetic beings. Being that we are between realms, we have an open heart today and a heartfelt ability to receive spirit along with the realm of our spiritual connection. So it's like we're living and connecting to our lineage, our ancestors, through the stones of our bones. I literally dreamt about the elementals time traveling into the future and into the past, energetic hiccups in a time warp kind of way last night. It's like turning on our tuning forks and attuning to the wisdom that we seek and the ancient wisdom that really lies within the cosmic patterning of our soul. We can learn for our shadows, right? Or learn from our shadows, but I think for our shadows as well, to upcycle our spirit. Nobody gets out of Earth School without transcending, right? So we might as well make it super juicy in the way. But welcome to today's daily snippet. Once again, I am your host. I am a practicing holistic Sha'medium, a subtle energetic surgeon, merging these indigenous technologies, the spirit of the Dagara tribe in Burkina Faso, West Africa, with the elements that are subtle energies, elemental beings, and so much more. From the elemental realm into the imaginal realm, just with offerings, rituals, and prescriptions to really add to your personal container, the cosmic juice, if you will. But my intention really is to merge these indigenous technologies, the wisdom of Africa, with the subtle realms, the etheric highway, to assist you into navigating your inner genius, your prime directive, just reintroducing you to and through the magical being that really resides within each and every one of us. My name is Tonya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. And if you haven't already, please be kind and do subscribe to my YouTube channel. It really helps with the algorithm, Tonya D. Hit the bell so you're notified. And again, yes, please like the videos, comment if you will. So the algorithm really echoes out and suggests me to other like-minded musers like yourself out into the galactic universe. But the messages from the universe today, we have the moon, the goddess herself, in the season of Capricorn. So our feelings are going to allow for some dedication, if you will, to our inner world of our compassion, our heartfelt compassion to ourselves. And then that brings to the cosmic soup, our personal inner growth of spirit, kind of commending ourselves for that, our spirit being that our senses are literally on top today, the tip top. So it's as if our sight to see is becoming unfiltered, cleansed, unclogged. The spirit sight, if you will, our third eye. But I'm going to be using the messages from the ethereal highway today, the etheric highway, the ghost in the darkness, if you will, or what I call the ghost in the darkness. But the first message here is from, whoopsie, that's my pixie prankster. It's from the Nine of Wands, which I love this card. I don't know if you can see it. It's part of the element of fire. So you can see the sentinels, they're keeping watch. They're weary, they're vigilant. They're these eternal guardians, if you will, and they defend against the unknowns that lie hidden in the abyss. Perhaps it's just light, maybe it's just mist, but it's on the edge of the world, if you will. But they've not yet ventured beyond to see with their own eyes, their own third eye, right? And they know only that they have been charged with the watching. So their gaze is kind of glued out to the west where the light fades into each and every dying day, the horizons, right, and the sunsets. But this is when the last rays kind of shoot forth and bring forth the green as the sun is waving goodbye. So it's like, what will come from our night's abyss? Can there be forces that stand this assault, if you will? The ones that have yet to be tested? So each day when the dusk fades to black, they really wait for their untamed foe, if you will, kind of straining their eyes to the western darkness. And then they wonder if this will be the night when it comes. So it's easy to be proud and tall and standing at attention, if you will. But when the strength of the sun shines upon their shoulders, it's really much harder to keep that through the silence, through those twilight hours. And yet, you know, they hold true, for they know one day they're absolutely 100% going to be needed, right? So this is like vigilance. That's the watchword for the Nine of Wands. And it's urging us to keep strength in our reserve and to always be kind of prepared for any eventuality. So retaining a core power, and even more importantly, know that inner strength know what that is. For sometimes we possess this ability to endure through all of our trials and tribulations that aren't really evident until they're put to that test. It's kind of easy, though, to become kind of lax, lazy, and loose. We lose the edge. So when the challenge does not rise really as quickly or as often as expected, kind of maintaining our acuity, if you can, you know, you will. Sometimes that's the most difficult challenge of all. But being that it is otherworldly, it's like the challenge is dissipating, and we have a message, you know, from the dissipation as well. And then I have, let's see, I don't want you, I don't want you, I want you. We have the Lovers of all things, which, you know, this is lovely, this is living, just lively, I should say. So it's kind of like one of the oldest tells, if you will. There's always a choice and knowledge and fulfillment of worldly senses. Or possibly it's the simplicity of an ever-present now, being in the moment, to be drawn into this embrace, to seek this union that all of our souls truly ache for and often desire, to really know the oneness of passion and love, and not just to know it, but also to revel in it. So hopefully you can see their eyes are open, but the only thing they're gazing at is each other. They're oblivious to everything around them, everything that's going on around the sun, the gaze off into the heavens. So that's not like gold or gems or crowns, you know, or grapevines made from flower elementals, if you will, or peasants. Nothing's in their peripherals, because there's forces that are gathering around them. They're not making any distinction. So their own senses have no awareness of anything around them either. So he's saying, like, take the seed and placing it in her palm, this little acorn, if you will, and telling her to water it from her own essence, her own spirit, and her intentions, and kind of see what comes out of that. So the Lovers is really all about union, balance, energy, flow, love, desire, passion, fire, melding of the hearts and the mind, and the forming of a union or unity or marriage. So this often is a romantic nature, but that's not necessarily true. So the Lovers is also about determining our values and struggling with our choices, the innocence that's embodied within the turtle doves. And in contrast to the shiny red apple that's embraced by the snake, that's really one of the oldest temptations, the oldest symbols of temptation. And on the other side, we've got the pure, simplifying essence of the calla lily that's kind of contrasting the sensual and complexity of the rose. Like every rose has a thorn, right? That's what comes to my mind. But being that this one's also otherworldly, it's like the heavens are shedding light of unity to our physical realm, maybe in hopes that we do unify and create a union from a space of love instead of adversity. And then we have the Two of Cups. Let's see here. Yes, the Two of Cups. And I just noticed my things over here, but that's fine. You don't care, right? So the Two of Cups, she is a beauty. This is like the melding of the water, the earth, and the air, the elementals, the alchemy of these elements. So it's like golden as the goblet, and the fish are swimming through all these waters. Or is it the air that they're gliding through? It's hard to kind of see. And the dryads, they're coiling around each other, embracing each other. They're braided in this embrace, and it's fluid like the air or possibly like the sea. It's hard to tell. But they are surrounded by all of this. They are the soulmates. They're twisting together to form like one solid trunk, one solid village. And they're still retaining their individuality and also their own colors. So they have this harmonious swirl between the yin and the yang, and they're circling one another in this liquid pushing and pulling that really unifies. And they're sharing a cup, and they're drinking the cup, and they're offering the cup, and they're whispering about the cup and accepting and responding, and they're taking it into their hands, and they're drinking it deeply all at once. And they're sharing the sap that really flows through the roots of the tree. One cup is balancing kind of precariously on the outstretched branch. I don't know if you can see that. There's a cup outstretched on a branch, but they don't seem to even notice that at all. So it's through the spirits and the sylphs that are watching this very so carefully. And for now, they're kind of standing stable. But as the tree grows and as the branches stretch and coil, bursting into the blooms through the seasons and the cycles of life, is the cup still going to stand upright, or is it going to tip over and tumble to the ground, spilling the essence of that precious liquid? So the Two of Cups is really about making a connection, a union, a partnership. So it's this bringing together of opposites for the potential of authentically bonding, if you will. It's a relationship. It's like this own cosmic living organism where relationships grow, and the ones that are strong become the pillars of stability. They have a foundation, and the weak connections are gradually forgotten, and they literally fall apart. So this feels like a unity needs some collaboration or recalibration to become a stronger pillar, a stronger foundation, or the tumbling, it's going to come apart. So it's like what no longer is working or growing, right, is no longer going to be in those threads and be able to stand. And then on the elemental highway, we have a Yin Earth Rooster of a day, a Yaya-yu, a Yaya-yu, if you will. But, however, our day is weak and it's also cold. Even though the thoughts of spring are arriving, you know, we can feel spring is coming, it's not able to produce. So fire is needed to really bring warmth, and the yang metal is useful to control the wood, the tigers, if you will, but our day is still frozen after the winter. So the yang wood, the tiger, is needed to bust up the earth, if you will, the yang earth that's hidden. And the yin wood that we don't have, even if it was strong, it really can't replace those tigers of controlling the earth. However, that would bring gentleness and an intelligence to a person that had this kind of a day. So yin earth is quite wet, especially after the winter. There's not that much needed for the water. We got a lot of water. And metal, unless fire and earth are excessive, which they are not. So being that metal and wood are strong, they're still conflicting with each other, not quite like the monkey and the tiger of yesterday. And just muse about the news of the world yesterday. Conflict, right? Just saying. So these elementals play a role. But there is a major conflict between wood and metal. Metal is guns, it's artillery, it's weapons. And wood is gentle, it's kind, but it can also be anger, repressed anger, something bubbling up through the surface. So the element of fire is really needed. However, fire can also rage out of control, right? So just kind of musing about the earth plane at the moment. Fire would literally warm up our day, but it's also love, it's spirit, it's the power of love. So I sense we need the elements of fire and also of earth for the energy of today. So I would do a ritual with earth, ashes from the fire, a conversation with spirit. You know, when was the last time that you chatted with spirit, your own spirit, your higher self, the spirit of the realm within those elements, an ancestor, an angelic being, or any deity that you're called to? Possibly we might need Sir Lancelot or the realm of the round table, the knights, to be the knights that they are. So it's like risking at the trials and tribulation. They're like at the forefront. And the power of love winning over the love of power, right? So I'm just kind of musing out loud here. But the rooster, the energy of the rooster is also cocky, right? So it's like clipping the wings of the rooster. So it's kind of, it's in between a white or a yellow rooster. I wouldn't say it's gold. I would say more white, scratchy. But spirit truly is calling us all. Hopefully you'll be able to sense it as well. It's in our heart's chalice. We've got this connectivity, this circuitry that needs to be both solid but also grounding. Now the grounding is the elemental, the spirit of the elemental that threads into those currents. You could ground into the earth, all of the earth, the flesh of the earth that's literally being ripped or blown apart. You know, the fire, we could utilize some of that fire too, but honestly, sometimes I feel like a cold splash of water, like when you get splashed by somebody in the face and you're not expecting it, like to wake them up. And knowing that we have taken the time and also the space to really acclimate to a new foundation, a spiritual foundation. It's like, when was the last time that you truly had that authentic conversation with spirit? Just knowing that we are connected and we are loved by something so vital and so otherworldly that it goes beyond our earthly existence, if you will, beyond the limited perception and the possibility of our imagination. So I would say throughout your day, see if you can connect with an otherworldly being, surrounding yourself in the comforts of love, the streams of love, loving ourselves from this space and this place. It's this unconditional love that vibrates through and to each and every one of us. The essence of pink, it's the power pathway, it's the combination of our root center and our crown, melding really, just coming in and through our hands, entering and exiting, being in the flow, flowing inside to the outside, just surrounding our etheric highway. So the juice truly is there. We just have to go and dip the chalice in it. So it's like our personal acumen is on point, our intuition, our psychic senses, our high sense perception, whatever you want to call it, our spiritual acumen. So you might just sense a new thread in your spirit space. The essence of today literally is a pure one. It's like authenticated. It's kind of like this spiritual force, this essence, the divine. So you might be feeling through your subconscious, those threads, the memories from our bones, things that really kind of come up. Maybe you had some other worldly dreams like I did. They were all over the place, but just making friends with the unfamiliar, you know, the dream space. Often it's undescribable, you know, it is the other world coming into our consciousness, leaving one realm to come into this realm. So today really is a great day, a magical day to do our spiritual exercises, whatever that is for you. It could be meditating, chanting, whatever you really feel most comfortable with. Prayer, you know, even the prayer pose, the yoga pose. And you might sense the insight, the connection when we listen, we authentically listen, like leaving the soul's last incarnation so we can live in this incarnation. So the threads are kind of dissipating, if you will. So we may be shifting to an alternate reality, maybe just getting a taste of that, actually. A shift in our spirit, the energy that's who we are, inside and outside. It could be a prophetic experience. Maybe you feel the history in your bones from those stones, your divine blueprint, something from your past incarnation really comes to an ending today. And you might just feel that you are free of that, even from your bone space. So it's like when you run into an old love, that the past, it's in the past, it's over, and you have no feeling at all. You don't feel good and you don't feel bad. You're literally in a state of neutrality. You're centered. So you might also manifest something symbolically, portent, an omen, a dream vision, just saying. We have all this open today. And that's kind of the affirmation that the story in this realm, the spirit has been cleansing. So truly compassion is a thing as well to ourselves. Like, where can you be more compassionate with yourself or the other? And are you aware of the karmic patterns that you're releasing? I am highly aware of mine lately. It's been really transcending in a way, or transformation, transforming actually. So just know, in the surrendering, that's when the suffering ends. It's the rings of separation. It's like the ripple that we create when we skip a rock across a pond or a lake, those circles, right? So it's time really to release whatever that is for you into those streams, allowing intuition to be your guiding light. And we all, each and every one of us, all have an intuitive gift. It's unique to each and every one of us. So be kind, be compassionate to yourself, connect to your spirit, really be your best friend. Let spirit be your best friend. And in doing so, we get to let go of what no longer serves us and elevate ourselves to these future threads. So when I say it might be a prophetic day, I really mean that spiritually, intuitively, psychically. You know, I had a lot of dreams about seeing and sight, the third eye sight, seeing what truly is versus seeing what is not. It's like the sight unseen, what we can see in the future. So there's no need to really do anything with our sight. Just be open to the connectivity to the realm of spirit, and actually put the message in the cabinet for later or write it down. And with our crown online, the element of fire, it really is a day for connecting to the divine, the great spirit, the spirit that resides within us, the in spirit you. So really forgive yourself for the now, the past, the everything that has been. There's no need to pack it around anymore. You're going to free yourself up. And I even dreamt of the lady actually that ran me over years ago when I had my near-death experience. I forgave her years ago, heartfelt forgiveness. But what I found curious is hard for others to forgive. And what I mean, it's the people around us that love us and watch us as we go through these lessons, these karmic ones. So it's like my heart and my soul, my spirit forgave her years ago. And I actually have huge compassion for her. But I knew every time that she looked at me, it was this feeling of grief and sadness that overcame her. So all we can do is really send blessings of peace, do an offering of forgiveness to the self and also to the other. Little rambling on here, but I would affirm that I am in my sacred space, my sacred spiritual space, placing upon the altar all the things seen and unseen for forgiveness, and just really open up your heart, your high heart, to the guidance of Creator so you can co-create, and just opening the door to your next spiritual insight. That corridor is truly open. And once again, just an announcement, I won't be around this weekend. I'm going to be doing my immersion for the elementals, the elemental earth. That's why I have my cute little pixie here. The elemental beings of the earth plane, different than the water and the fire. There's so many elemental beings. And also, I'm going to be doing Weaving the Dream, continuing the journey in the Musing Club for those of you that have purchased my offerings. So as always, I will see you on the other side. Make it a blessed day. Connect with spirit. InShalla, Ashe. And as always, I'll see you on the other side, or at least next week.